Alright, so this is geometry. Today's date is Monday, December 9th. I'm out because Riley, oh my gosh, he just threw that at me. Riley has a fever. Yeah, so today, this was going to be the warm-up, and you can try this if you want. I guess we can kind of get to the lesson, which is a little bit harder, but using just a compass and a ruler, and hopefully you guys can find the compasses okay. Okay, I cannot speak. The compasses, they look like, let's see if I can draw one really quick. They're like, well, that's a very thin line. The compasses, they have like 2 points, they have like a little end, they have like a little wheel here, and then like this is a sharp tip, and then this is like a pencil. That's a compass. But you're using a compass and a ruler to try to make a triangle. So it's kind of a fun little project, but again, you can do this. It's not super important. This isn't going to be on the final, but this stuff will be on the final. So make sure you have a blank piece of paper to go. You'll just need one side, I think. Yeah, so you can title these notes. You can say, let's come here. And I'm using a different software, so it's going to be a little bit different. Let's use that line style. So the first thing that I want to teach you guys is how to do a perpendicular bisector. And oh my gosh, this software is so weird. Perpendicular bisector. And just analyzing this word a little bit, perpendicular means you have a 90-degree angle, and bisector means you cut it in half. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to draw a line with your ruler. So grab your ruler and there's my line. Okay, so next you need 2 points that you're going to bisect. So I get to randomly draw any 2 points that I want. I'm going to choose a point right there and a point right there. Just any 2 points will do. Okay, what I want to do is find exactly halfway in between here. So the way that we do that is we grab our compass here. And then you're going to put the metal tip over here on one point, and then you're going to extend your compass so that it's at least halfway, a little bit more than halfway. So I'm going to do like about 3/4. Okay, once it's halfway, or at least halfway, then you can just kind of make you don't need to make an entire circle, by the way. A lot of students always think, okay, if I make if I use the compass, I have to do an entire circle. It takes too long. No, like the easiest way is they're going to have a point somewhere up here, somewhere down here. So I'm going to move this and say it's going to be right about there. And then I can, let's see if I need to rotate this down a little bit. And still in that same point, if I move it down here, I should have a point somewhere down there. Thank you, Riley. He's playing with his toys in the background. Okay, so if I've done that, don't change the compass size here, and then just put the metal tip at the other point, and then you can rotate this so that you have an intersection here, and keep rotating this up, and you have an intersection up here. I don't know how much you guys can hear his toy in the background. With these 2 points, you have made a perpendicular bisector, so go ahead and make those actual points, and grab your ruler and make a straight line that goes between those 2 points, and voila, you have not only made a 90-degree angle, so you can annotate that is a 90-degree angle, but you have also bisected this segment that you've drawn so that this length and this length are the same length. And that is your perpendicular bisector. So what I want you guys to do is on that front side of your piece of paper, do this like 2 more times. Try your perpendicular bisector. If you ever forget how to do a perpendicular bisector, if you just search for Math is Fun perpendicular bisector, they have a good one that I'm going to put up on the website. So here's their quick little video. Yep, the exact same thing that we did, and boom. Oh yeah, they get fancy. They actually use a ruler there. All right, so that's the first half of the day, making a perpendicular bisector. You need to know how to do that. Did you just pinch your finger? Here, move your thumb. All right. So next, I want to teach you guys how to do an angle bisector, and that's the last thing that you need to learn for today. So yes, pen, and this is going to be an angle bisector. So to do this, you need to first make an angle. So go ahead and make any size angle that you want. Of course, if you make an angle that's 180 degrees, like that technically is an angle right here. And that's kind of not fun, but go ahead and make an angle that looks, I don't know, something that looks like that-ish. It doesn't matter the size of the angle, but it should be some, some angle. So once you have your angle created, go ahead and grab your compass, and we need to find some distance that's the same distance, equidistant from this vertex here. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I need to drag. Okay, do I have to use a pen? Okay, I'm still getting used to this software. Okay, that's what's going on. So I need to move this so that the metal tip over here is on this vertex. And then it doesn't matter what size you have. I'm just going to randomly choose that length. And I just need to make a tick mark right here. I don't need to do an entire circle. And I need to rotate this. I wonder if I can rotate it. Yeah, it's going to look a little bit weird, but this will be a little bit easier. And I haven't changed the distance at all. So those are my tick marks. I'm going to go ahead and make those points. So I can just put a little point here. I can switch colors here too. Let's do blue. Those 2 points. Okay, so I have 2 points that are the same distance, that are equidistant from this vertex. And then again, it doesn't matter what size the compass is. I can change the size now. Oh, again, I have to keep hitting this button. I can change the size of the compass as much as I want now. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to randomly change it to a different size. And then now put our metal tip on this new point that you've created. And you know that if I were to guess what the angle bisector would be, I would guess that it cuts the angle in half right about there. So I know that somewhere around there is where I need to make my tick mark. So I'm going to go ahead and come here and say, okay, right about there. Move this again to the other point and make your tick mark. And hey, voila, you have made an angle bisector because let's make this a red point, I suppose. That point, and then I make a line from this original angle vertex through that point. I'll do that just in black, sure. I have made an angle bisector, which means, I guess bisector again means cutting in half. That's a little bit too thick of a line. It's 1/2. So if this was the full angle, this angle and this angle are now cut in half, which means those are equal angles. So again, just like you did before with the perpendicular bisector, go ahead and make yourself 2 more angles and then practice bisecting those angles. Make them different. Make them, one is obtuse, one is acute, and try bisecting them. So that's the lesson that I have for you guys. Here is your homework assignment. So for your homework, you're going to grab a blank piece of paper, and this is going to be turned in. On your blank piece of paper, you need to make 2 medium-sized triangles. So if this was my entire piece of paper, my triangle wants to be about yay big. And it doesn't matter what type of triangle you have. Like if I grab this line and make it a little bit longer so it's actually a triangle. So there's my triangle. So just randomly draw a triangle. But then what I want you to do, and you can do a different shape of triangle on the back, but you need a medium triangle on the front and the back. The front side, you're going to do perpendicular bisectors. So you can write that out as well. On the front, this is going to be the perpendicular, I'm going to abbreviate here, bisector side. So on this side, each of these line segments now, I need you to make a perpendicular bisector. And I can even do the first one with you guys to help you out here. So I'm going to say my first segment is going to be between these 2 points. So this line segment right here, I need to make a perpendicular bisector. And your work is going to get messy, I'm sure, because you're going to be doing lots and lots of tick marks. So let's grab our compass again. And just as a review for the perpendicular bisector, I'm going to actually make it go this direction. I need to have some distance that's at least halfway. So that's about halfway. I'll do a little bit more. And then I'm going to have something out there. And then let's do this point right here. Actually, I'm going to keep it like that. I'm trying to get the angle correct so I can actually move this thing. Ooh, it looks like it barely connected. Just barely. Okay, so that is 1 point. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do the other one down here. So I need something down here. I'm going to do something like that. I need another arc. Let's move this like that. And I need another tick mark. It looks like it's going to be right there, so I can actually draw it right there. Oh, it just happened to be on the triangle. That normally doesn't happen, but it just randomly happened this time. So I've just made the perpendicular bisector for this line segment. I can come back and make a line. I'll make it in like red or something. And I'll say, okay, so this line segment right here is the perpendicular bisector. Okay, you need to do that same thing for each of these other line segments. You can tell that this one is a perpendicular bisector because this line segment and this line segment are equidistant, or they're the same length. And there's also a 90-degree angle here. So I know I've done it correctly. What you need to do is do the same thing for this line segment and this line segment. That's the first half of your homework. The second half of your homework is another triangle. So let's open up here. Let's make another triangle. It can be any random triangle. I'm just going to go, oh, I didn't want to do red. Let's change it back to black. So triangle, does it really matter? No, I'm just going to do something giant like that. And on this side, you're going to do, you guessed it, it's going to be an angle bisector. So this is angle bisector. I want you to make angle bisectors for this angle, and this angle. Again, I'll do the first one with you to make sure you know what's going on. Let's just do this angle right here. So the first step, again, grab your compass. And I'm going to make 2 points that are equidistant from our original vertice here. So I'm going to move my compass and say, okay, the middle tip is at the vertice. Let's drag this thing a little bit. It doesn't matter how far, so I'm just going to randomly say, okay, that tick mark right there, and this tick mark right there. All right, so I have 2 points that are equidistant. You don't even need to make them points like this. You can already see which points they are. He's trying to move his toys. You hit your head too? Oh, sorry, bud. The next thing that you need to do is, it doesn't matter the length of this, so I can, I can change the size of this. Oop, that's not what I want to do either. I can change the size of this. I'm going to make it slightly smaller now, just because I have a smaller angle. And again, put your metal tip of the compass right here, and it's going to be somewhere out here. You can tell that it's going to be some line that goes kind of through the center of the angle. And again, move this tip of the metal compass over here. It needs to be pretty exact. And then I need to move this down to right there. And you can see that's our intersection, which means if I come back and grab my line tool, let's get another red line again, that my angle bisector, and make sure that it goes like through the entire triangle, is right there. You're going to do the same thing now for this angle and this angle. What we're eventually preparing for is we're going to do something called Euler's line, or I don't know what it's called. I think it's Euler's line. It's something cool that happens with types of, with certain, how do you explain it? Certain circles around and inside of triangles. I think that's the best way to explain it. All right, so that is your homework. The front side, again, as a review, you need to have perpendicular bisectors for all 3 segments, and then for the back side, the angle bisector for all 3 of those angles. All right, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow.